I'm here in Seattle at the University of Washington. This is Husky Stadium. Gonna take a tour and learn about their water sustainability efforts.
You're in the water loop. Water loop.
Here with Chip Lightham from the University of Washington, gonna talk to us about Husky Stadium. Could you talk about the University of Washington's overall focus on salmon safe and then how the stadium fits into that?
Absolutely. Well, as you can imagine, there's quite a priority on that. We are on the banks of Lake Washington, this dramatic, beautiful, pristine freshwater lake, deep water lake right at our doorstep. And so campus administration leadership felt like it was in our best interest to really pursue salmon safe certification. And it's a campus-wide initiative, and we get recertified every 5 years or so, something like that.
Yeah.
And since we are literally at the shores of Lake Washington, we're a strong partner.
Yeah. So being salmon safe, how do you do that?
Yeah, there's a number of very detailed criteria that have to be achieved, and a lot of it is just your water quality, other runoff activities, or just adjunct adjacent activities that might affect fish or salmon runs. That would be pest management, water runoff, and many other like traffic control where parking goes, petroleum runoffs and such.
Okay, so really keeping the water that's coming off of your property, off of the stadium's property, clean, so it does not hurt the health of the salmon, which are so critical to this whole region.
Yes, salmon are so valued, which they would be anywhere, but particularly here, they're so front of mind and in our daily lives that it's really important to protect our resource.
So when it comes to this stadium, what's done to keep that water cleaner?
Well, first of all, when we had a massive renovation, it's almost a complete renovation of the stadium 10 years ago, and we used really strong salmon safe procedures in that construction. For instance, we built a retainage pond in the stadium that had
8 million gallons.
Yeah, we're siphoning through there, and we're basically filtered with all the construction debris and runoff. So that was above and beyond. It's not usually required on a construction site. So we start there. And then we have everyday activities here. We have these massive roofs, these huge canopies, which you may see in a moment, that retain and disperse water. And so we have a filtration system before the water gets into the lake. And then we have everyday activities such as cleaning the stadium. After we've had 70,000 people in here, they can create debris and contaminants. And so we have to clean the stadium with care, and we pick the stadium and get the debris out, and then we use pressure washing, and we have a filtration nozzle that cleans it further before it gets even to the system.
Green infrastructure is a big thing in Seattle, right? Using nature-based solutions, rain gardens and all these things, bioswales. I think there's some of that around the grounds here.
The stadium had less opportunity for that, but all of our adjunct facility development has rain gardens and basically filtration, natural filtration that's being in place. You'll see one down between here and the lake that a parking lot project created that was strategic.
Okay.
And then I have another project starting where there is rain filtration accommodation around the project. So yeah, it's always, first of all, it's by code, but then it's the right thing to do.
Sure. And you do have to take care of the grounds, right? The grass, the plants. So you do have to kind of fight the pests there. Right. How do you deal with the pests in a way that's not going to hurt the salmon?
It's a great question. You can't see it in where we're standing, but there's a softball facility has a grass outfield, so it's organic. And so we grow grass. Our stadium has synthetic turf, but right next door, right beyond is this grass outfield. You can see beyond, just right up against the lake. But we have a pre-approved list of organic pesticides that can be used that are salmon safe certified. So we have to train our groundskeepers to use those products and be diligent and vigilant with that process. And we have a checklist, and they commit to using those products. There's just a mindset for sustainability, and water quality is one of many. It's probably interesting to note that when we create debris in the stadium after a game with concessions and food cans and everything else, quote, pick the stadium in three courses. We pick recyclables, compostables, and then garbage.
Okay.
And they go into three streams. So that is a very intentional way of sort of cleaning the stadium. And hopefully that is the first pass before it ever becomes a water issue. So
Love it. And you guys are a university. You've got these college students, and they have more of a mindset of stewardship. Or do you get are they watching what's going on with their stadium?
very much so. And it starts at the top. The university president and university leadership has an initiative for all sustainability practices. And we're quite aware of that.
I think younger people, college students, are real leaders when it comes to not using single-use plastics and having refillable bottles. So they have options here, huh?
Yes, we're aware that's not the most sustainable procedure in our environment. So even though we could lose some revenue with buying single-use plastic bottles, we're very much in favor of refilling water, and so that's a sustainable practice. And we just invested recently this year in these more professional distributors. So this is really good for the environment. Some places limit whether you can bring in basically your own water, your own drinks, but we encourage it because we know this is a sustainable practice, and it's just financially better sometimes for our fans also.
Sure.
So this is part of our overall water strategy, and feel good about it.
Yeah. I always get frustrated if I go to a venue where I can't bring in an empty refillable container. Because I don't want plastic, and because I don't want to spend $8 on a bottle of water. So
yeah, we don't want to hold them hostage and make them buy the $8 bottle of water, because we think this is just the right thing to do.
Yeah. Chip, thanks so much for the tour of Husky Stadium, getting to learn about some of the water sustainability stuff. You guys are definitely leading the way.
Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed your visit to the greatest setting in college football.
You're in the water loop.